Chapter 1 Transmigration Chapter 1 Transmigration Tianxian Continent, warriors were respected and martial skills reigned supreme. In this world, strength and martial skills were just as important. The exact same leveled cultivators with different martial skills could determine the outcome of a battle. It was because of this that a good martial skill may make a family, or even determine the fate of a large sect. Jade Mountain City, the Luo family's horse stable. Pa, pooh, what sort of smell is this and why does it stink so much? A pale-faced boy woke up trembling on top of some hay of the stable as he muttered complaints. Luo Tian opened his eyes and what greeted him were several horses' ass. On top of his thigh was horse manure that stunk like no tomorrow. His eyes wide in surprise while his body froze in astonishment. Horse shit. What the hell? What's going on here? Luo Tian's mind blanked. His mouth was agape, his eyes wide, and didn't recover his senses for a long time. What's going on? Transmigration. I was just merely downloading a batch of several hundreds of pirated online novels, so do I really need to be punished like this? The surrounding was really too unfamiliar to Luo Tian. He looked at the clothes he was wearing, then at his pair of hands, and then at the long hair that reached his waist. All of this was not part of his original body, so this clearly proved that he had transmigrated. On planet Earth, Luo Tian was a very ordinary otaku. He was as ordinary could get. Each day he would just do what otakus did: video games, anime, novels, and friendly humping interactions with inflatable dolls. Previously, Luo Tian was playing a video game while downloading novels at the same time. Hearing the ding-dong sound, a smile broke out on Luo Tian's face. He then muttered to himself, "I've finally finished downloading, now I can read for a good several days." He then opened up his personal e-book file and looked around. Inside were all the hottest online novels, something Stellar Transformation, something Ethereal Trip, something Zhuxian, something Battle Through the Heavens, something The Plum in the Golden Vase. There were several hundreds of novels and each of them was a classic. Luo Tian had a particular soft spot for them. Even after finished reading them, he would not delete it. In his own words, on certain boring and lonely nights, he could reread them again for fun. After the new novels had been downloaded, Luo Tian went ahead and unplugged the data cable. The moment his hands touched the data cable, the computer screen would constantly switch back and forth between a page of a novel and a video game interface. The computer screen almost flashed itself to death. The computer screen was flashing while the CPU was also making noises like crazy. Immediately afterwards, like a vegetable knife cutting into an electrical cord, sparks of flame and electricity flew everywhere. Smoke was coming out of the CPU and the monitor. Even worse was that smoke was coming out of Luo Tian's head as well. The moment the CPU and the monitor completely fried, Luo Tian's eyes rolled into the back of his head and he collapsed onto the computer desk unconscious. He had no clue on whatever happened afterwards. By the time he woke up, he was in an unfamiliar world. Luo Tian was now completely depressed. He was so depressed that it was similar to a person on a deserted island that didn't know how to survive to the next day. Although it's painful for this brother to be an otaku, and my pair of hands are a bit tired at the end of the night, but bringing me to this ghostly place is similar to taking my life, right? What sort of f***ing predicament is this? Luo Tian angrily cursed. Even in his dream, he never thought he would transmigrate. He enjoyed reading online novels, especially stories where the main character was so overpowered and could step on others and beat the crap out of everyone. He also enjoyed it when the main characters shared their ups and downs, and till death did they part with their fellow brothers. He also liked it when the main characters went on countless adventures and would always meet matchless beauties, but those were merely what he enjoyed. These were all imaginary and would never happen in real life. Transmigration is just a genre of some particular novels, and it was impossible for it to happen. If one could volunteer for transmigration, he would be the first because that's the only way he could change his current life. Now that he really transmigrated, he couldn't bring himself to be happy about it. There's no other reason except for the owner of this body's life experience, background, family, and the fact that his Danshan had been crippled so he couldn't cultivate. On the surface, his life looked pretty awesome, the only son of the previous patriarch of the family, but the key point was previous. His father died in a battle while his mother was so disheartened that she got sick and died after. Once his parents died, his life fell from heaven to hell. Originally the Luo family's young master had become the Luo family's stable hand, his status was even lower than a servant. The worst part of it all was that his Danshan had been crippled and he couldn't cultivate. He originally was filled with talent and had endless potential, and was considered the number one in the younger generation of the Jade Mountain City. But 3 years ago he was wounded by a mysterious person, and somehow mistakenly taken the dispersing spirit pill. This caused his Danshan to be crippled, which led him to become the trash that couldn't cultivate. In a world where the strong are respected, not being able to cultivate was equivalent to a death sentence. He could never turn over a new leaf in his entire lifetime. The moment he became trash was the moment he was bullied every single day. Those in the same clan would beat and ridicule him constantly, while the disciples from other clans would insult and laugh behind his back on the main streets. Back then, those disciples would not even dare to look at him directly, would now step on top of him in public, perhaps to show off in front of a girl they liked. The Luo family never bothered to care how he was treated. They even repeatedly warned him not to go outside and disgrace himself, since he was making the Luo family lose their face. Why would the upper-level Luo members even care about him? They were anxiously hoping that Luo Tian would die as soon as possible. One should know that Luo Tian was still technically the young master of the Luo family, therefore once he is of age, he's supposed to inherit the identity as the patriarch of the Luo family. When Luo Zhen, his father, was alive, this was something he established in front of the ancestral hall. It's something that cannot be changed no matter who wants to. Whoever wishes to change it will be considered as insulting the ancestors and would be committing a serious crime. It was because of this reason that his tragic days had never stopped. He would suffer beatings each day without reason at all. Luo Tian had tolerated it all, just like a cockroach struggling to survive. Until yesterday. Luo Yu brought a girl to select a horse. This girl was called Zhu Mei. She was the daughter of the Zhu family's third elder, a family that was one of the Jade Mountain City's 4 major families. She was once Luo Tian's fiancée, but that day Luo Tian was crippled. The Zhu family brought people to the house to break off the engagement. It was as if everything was already planned out. Strangely, breaking off the engagement went rather smoothly. The current Luo family's patriarch Luo Jianshan didn't even think about it and agreed on the spot. Luo Tian didn't know anything about this. He only found out about this 1 month later when the Luo family publicly announced the engagement between Luo Yu and Zhu Mei. That day, he could only bitterly smile. Luo Yu and Zhu Mei were selecting horses to enjoy themselves in the countryside. Originally for this kind of thing, calling a servant over to saddle the horses would do it. But in order for Luo Yu to show off his superiority, he deliberately brought the Zhu Mei who was dressed especially beautifully that day to show off. And Zhu Mei surprisingly matched Luo Yu's intention. These two started showing a variety of intimate actions in front of Luo Tian, and even verbally insulted Luo Tian by various means. Luo Tian turned a blind eye and pretended he didn't see a thing. But it was because of this that Luo Yu flew into a rage. He was saying that Luo Tian didn't even know how to saddle horses. Suddenly, Luo Yu became physical, and knocked Luo Tian down with a single punch. How could someone like Luo Tian, whose cultivation had dispersed, be the opponent of the profound pupil 5th rank Luo Yu? Luo Tian was knocked unconscious with one punch, but Luo Yu still hadn't vented enough. He condensed all his profound pupil's 5th rank power, which viciously exploded by kicking Luo Tian's chest a few times. He made sure Luo Tian wouldn't be able to get up before he finally left. It was around this time that Zhu Mei was clapping her hands and yelling out "good kick." She kept praising how good her brother Luo Yu was, how mighty looking brother Luo Yu looked, beat him to death, beat that trash to death, etc. In between saying these words, she would go up and kick Luo Tian a few times herself. It was due to this tragic scene that the Luo family's young master passed away. The otaku Luo Tian then arrived. His tragic life is over, and now it's my turn to experience it. Luo Tian looked at the stables with downcast eyes. His gaze was filled with powerlessness as he asked himself, what to do? What should I do from now on? Oh heavens, can you give me a bit of benefit? How can an otaku like me survive in this dog-eat-dog world? Luo Tian was thinking for half the day, but still couldn't find any get-rich shortcuts. He was just an ordinary otaku. He was completely ignorant when it came to business ideas or money-making opportunities. He was only good at online video games. In his past life, he leveled up quite quickly and would sell the online items for money. When it came to killing monsters, leveling up, doing quests, and farming, he was considered a genius. Even some professional players considered him a rival. But this world didn't even know what a computer was, not to mention online games. Oh, you're awake. All of a sudden, a surprised voice was heard from outside the stables. His was the horse stable's steward, called Ma Tong. His face was so surprised when he saw Luo Tian wake up, and muttered, he's still alive after being beat that badly, the life of this trash is truly quite tough. He was present when Luo Tian was beaten. He watched as Luo Yu struck out killing blows, yet he never expected Luo Tian to stubbornly survive. After recovering from his shock, Ma Tong coldly smiled and went inside the stables and kicked Luo Tian's thigh. He then suddenly yelled out, if you're awake, stop pretending to be dead in front of this daddy. You're awake and still lying there and not working. Do you believe this daddy here will beat you to death for real, you damn trash? After being yelled at by these series of words, Luo Tian's face was sprayed with spit. Back then, a little horse stable steward like Ma Tong didn't even have the qualifications to meet him. Presently, Luo Tian was physically struck upon seeing Ma Tong, and now he was even threatened with being beaten to death. This made Luo Tian fully realize that his current status in the Luo family was really at the lowest of the lows. Luo Tian's eyes narrowed as anger soared in his heart, but in a flash, he calmed himself down. He then squeezed out a smile and laughed, I'm up, and will start working immediately. A wise man does not fight when the odds are against him. Ma Tong's cultivation was at the profound pupil's third rank. It was more than enough to deal with someone like him. Although he wouldn't dare to kill Luo Tian, he would not be merciful while punching and kicking a few times. He was already seriously injured right now, so Luo Tian wasn't sure if he could handle being beaten anymore. But he has clearly remembered this, and one day, he will pay him back for it. Luo Tian had difficulty standing up as he stumbled out of the stable. Ma Tong once again kicked Luo Tian's butt and haughtily cried out, you dog thing, why are you so slow? You wanna die or something? Luo Tian clenched his jaws and tightened his fists a few times, but still didn't dare to say a word. Ma Tong coldly laughed and then said in contempt, you damn trash, you are such a shame to humans. I really don't know why you bother staying alive. There really is no use in staying alive here. Luo Tian bitterly smiled and said to himself. There was a splat sound. Luo Tian had stepped on a fat dung beetle and killed it. Luo Tian was about to continue forward when a strange sound was heard in his mind. Ding! Chapter 2: The Killer of Dung Beetles. Chapter 2: The Killer of Dung Beetles. Ding! A sudden sound was heard. Luo Tian looked left and right and said to himself, where did that sound come from? Ma Tong's eyes widened as he kicked out again and cursed, what noise, you damn dog thing! If you don't hurry up, this daddy will stomp you to death. Did I really imagine that sound? Luo Tian shook his head and was just about to continue walking when a large amount of data coursed through his brains. Ding! Congratulations, player Luo Tian, you've killed a dung beetle. You've gained 1 experience point 0 profound energy. Congratulations, player Luo Tian, for activating the leveling system. Would you like to view the character profile? Congratulations player Luotian for activating the novel's cultivation reward system. Would you like to view the rewards criteria? What's going on? A series of electronic tones sounded in his mind. Luotian was in a daze and numbly nodded and said, "View." As he willed it, the system in his mind opened. Player, Luotian level, 0 experience, 1/100 profound energy, 0 cultivation skills, none unique skills, none companions, none, ha ha ha, the heavens haven't forsaken me and have actually given me a leveling system. I'm rich, I'm going to be rich. Ha ha ha, Luotian was so excited that he started laughing out loud. That Ma Tong to the side got scared from the sudden laughter, and looked at Luotian while thinking he had finally gone crazy. Indeed. Luotian's excited face and his mad laughter really made him look like he had become crazy. Luotian had read numerous online novels and clearly knew what those sounds represented. He had no doubt about the use of this system. This was a system similar to a video game. To an otaku of Earth, being able to cultivate was like a mythical tale. Whatever danshin or profound energy, they will be clueless about it except for reading in the novels. But when it came to video games, all otakus of Earth will be familiar with it. Killing beasts, doing quests, and grinding were all too familiar subjects. Luotian was originally depressed when he realized his danshin had been crippled. Someone in this world that cannot cultivate is lower than an ant, and would be ridiculed, insulted, and even beaten up. They didn't even have the most basic dignity of a human being. There was only one way to change all of this: become stronger. Wanting to change everything when you cannot cultivate was impossible. Luotian had wanted to run away from the Luo family, escape from Jade Mountain City and find a deserted place to live. But everything has changed now. He now possessed the leveling system, so wanting to cultivate and break through was no longer a problem. Currently, Luotian's heart had strengthened and said to himself, "I don't understand how to cultivate or make breakthroughs, but killing beasts and leveling up is something I can definitely do. Damn Ma Tong. Luo Yu and Zhu Mei, you two shitheads, damn Luo Jianshan, damn the whole Luo family. Each of you just wait for this, daddy." Suddenly, Luotian clenched his fists and a chilling light briefly flashed in his eyes. A strong sense of confidence burst forth from him as if he had completely changed into another person. Ma Tong, who was to the side, seemed to have felt a different aura come from Luotian. With a slightly stunned gaze, he glanced at Luotian. So what if he seemed to have changed? What can he do when he's still a freaking trash? Once your danshin has been crippled, there's no way you can stand back up in your entire lifetime. Immediately, Ma Tong kicked out and cursed, "Stop with your crazy shit, why aren't you cleaning the stables for me yet?" Luotian staggered from the kick and almost fell to the ground. He turned around and angrily stared at Ma Tong, about to say something when he heard a sound go off in his mind. Ding! A quest has been received: clean the stables. Completing the task will result in 30 experience points. Will you accept it? Luotian was about to curse back at Ma Tong when he realized a few words by Ma Tong would actually give him a quest, causing his anger to immediately cool down. "Seeing that you had given me a quest, this daddy will give you some face and tolerate you a little longer." Luotian then replied with his thought, "Accept." It's fortunate that Luotian didn't curse at Ma Tong, or else he would have received another round of beating. Endure. He had to endure this. Before he has achieved adequate strength, he can't show his temper that easily. Ma Tong was a profound pupil of the third rank, someone that he cannot take on. Level up. He had to quickly level up and not allow someone in charge of the stables to pick on him. He's losing too much face over this. Luotian cried in his heart before grabbing a broom and cleaning up the place. In the process of cleaning the place, he didn't let any of the dung beetles rolling the horse manure go. Even though it was only a bit of experience, Luotian was not going to let even half a point slide by. Ding! Congratulations to player Luotian for killing a dung beetle. You have received 1 experience point 0 points in profound energy, ding. The system would occasionally make an announcement like this here and there. His experience increased 1 point at a time. Luo Tian didn't let miss a single corner, and an hour later, the stables was cleaned to the point of looking like new. Steward Ma, the stables have been cleaned. Are there any more tasks for me? Luo Tian ran over to Ma Tong in an obedient manner while thinking to himself, this should be considered turning in the quest right. Ma Tong left his room and looked around before showing surprise in his eyes. He was hoping to find something wrong so he could curse Luo Tian out, but after seeing how clean the stables were, he couldn't find a single thing wrong. Ma Tong then coldly glanced at Luo Tian and said, don't even think you can rest after doing this. Go to the back mountains and cut 10 stones, 140 pounds, worth of fresh grass for the horses. If you can't complete this before the sky gets dark, I will break your legs. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for completing the cleaning the stables quest. You have received 30 experience points as a reward. Ding! You have received a new quest, cut 10 stones of fresh grass for the horses. Completing the quest will reward you with 50 experience points. Will you accept? I'm definitely accepting. 50 experience points is a huge amount, man. I'll be counting on it to level up. Luo Tian was ecstatic as he picked up a straw basket from the stables and rushed out of the building. Just as he exited, he noticed a dung beetle working hard rolling horse manure. Luo Tian's lips curved up and formed a smile. Brother Dung Beetle, I'm sorry, but this brother has to sacrifice you in order to level up. The dung beetle paused and looked up at Luo Tian, revealing a look that it was just passing through. Luo Tian stomped down with his foot. There was a splat sound. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing a dung beetle. You have received 1 experience point 0 points in profound energy. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing 70 dung beetles and gaining the title Killer of Dung Beetles. You have been rewarded with 10 experience points. Killer of Dung Beetles, Luo Tian almost laughed out loud, this title was too awesome. The system suddenly made another alert sound. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. Your current level is the first rank of the Profound Pupil Realm. I've leveled up. Luo Tian's spirit started trembling and his original body covered in injuries was instantly healed up. Luo Tian no longer felt any pain. He couldn't help happily speaking to himself, this is exactly like a video game, leveling up will refill all the stats. Ha ha ha, he wasn't even finished being happy when a series of alerts sounded off in his mind. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. You will receive martial skills from novels as a reward, Thunder Tiger Fists, 8 Desolate Fists, Vertical Cloud Aura. You may only select one, please make a selection. Luo Tian was stunned. Once he heard martial skills from novels, he even forgot that he was busily killing dung beetles. What's this about martial skills from novels? Luo Tian said to himself. With a thought, he opened the system's screen. Description of martial skills from novels, upon reaching appropriate levels, the player will be rewarded with martial skills. The martial skills are all used by main characters of certain novels. Oh crap! No wonder I felt the names of those martial skills seemed familiar. So they are the skills that certain main characters have used in the novels. Luo Tian was shocked, but then started searching the system for the names of the novels. It was no big deal when he didn't know, but once Luo Tian found it, he was in complete awe. These novels were all inside the folder of Luo Tian's computer. These novels were all the hottest during their times, and all the main characters had become overpowered existences. To be able to cultivate their martial skills. Stellar Transformations Qin Yu. Coiling Dragons Linley. Shen Mu's Chen Nan. Everything was there, all those novels that blew up the internet. All the martial skills those main characters had learned were very powerful, but Luo Tian couldn't understand some of the martial skills for several unique novels. The rare classic, the plum in the golden vase. That Ximenqing in the plum in the golden vase is Ximenqing. What is the name of the martial skill he cultivated? Can I call it transform into bigger and thicker invincible vigorous King Kong divine skill? Luo Tian smiled evilly as he glanced at his crotch. If that was the case, then in the future, thinking about this is getting me super excited. Superscript 1 Luo Tian's heart was trembling in joy so much that he became dazed. With this many awesome martial skills, let's see who will dare to show off in front of me, I'll play them to death. The next moment, Luo Tian contemplated for a few seconds and chose the Thunder Tiger Fists. The system immediately made an alert. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for selecting the Thunder Tiger Fists. Would you like to cultivate that now? Yes. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for successfully learning the skill. Martial skill, Thunder Tiger Fists level, grade 1 martial skill proficiency, 0/100 ding. System tip, the level 1 reward has been completed. The second reward will be at the Profound Pupil 5th rank, and the rewarded martial skill will be Berserk. What? Berserk? The novel Invincible level ups Violent King Kong Ape's divine skill. Superscript 1 The special skill of the main character of the plum in the golden vase is being very good at sex. Chapter 3 The Sudden First Kiss Chapter 3 The sudden first kiss martial skills in the Tianxian continent were rare. A book containing a good martial skill could change the fate of a clan. What about divine skills? Divine skills were above martial skills. It required a high comprehension ability to learn it, or some could be born with it. Any divine ability was a peerless existence. Possessing a divine skill wasn't as simple as changing the fate of a clan, it can change the fate of a sect or an entire empire. What is Berserk considered? This was a divine ability that was comprehended by the violent King Kong ape. Its destructive power was enormous. Level 1 Berserk double the strength, double one's speed, double the profound energy, everything will be doubled. Level 2 Berserk, 4 times. Level 3 Berserk, 8 times. Level 10 will be completion, giving 1000 times the power and was terrifying to the extreme. A single punch could flatten a super expert into meat paste, which was the sole reason that made Luo Tian's blood boil with excitement. Berserk. Berserk, this daddy must learn it as soon as possible. With that divine skill, who else will this daddy fear? The Profound Pupil 5th rank Luo Yu? Just watch me pinch him to death. Luo Tian's joy had made him a complete mess as he quickened his pace towards the back mountains. The easiest way to gain experience was to kill demonic beasts. About 100 kilometers from the Jade Mountain City is a place called the Ghostly Mountain Range. There are countless demonic beasts there, making it a leveling paradise. But for the current Luo Tian to enter that place would only result in death. It's due to the lack of strength. The demonic beasts were tough beyond imagination. Their physical bodies and their strength were extremely great, and add the fact that there were numerous demonic beasts at the Ghostly Mountain Range, ordinary people simply didn't dare to approach it. Even top experts dare not to needlessly enter. There were even rumors that demonic beasts were able to transform to human forms while their strength was beyond terrifying. Luo Tian's current strength was fine in dealing with dung beetles, but for him to deal with demonic beasts? Most likely a level 0 demonic beast would make him run for his life. Having Luo Tian kill demonic beasts was equal to sending him to his own death. Before gaining sufficient strength, Luo Tian would not even think of entering the Ghostly Mountain Range. After all, staying alive was his number one priority. Without one's life, everything becomes useless. For the time being, Luo Tian can only rely on the quests given by Ma Tong, and maybe search for some dung beetles. As the killer of dung beetles, Luo Tian only needed horse manure. After thoroughly searching the area, he only had to seize the opportunity and stomp down. With a splat sound, a single point of experience was gained. He was forced to do this because there was no other way. Even a small mosquito would consider having some meat on it. With Luo Tian's current strength, he could only deal with these dung beetles that couldn't fight back. Without realizing it, Luo Tian had arrived at the back mountains. The back mountains were all uncultivated lands where only wild grass grew. Luo Tian didn't want to waste any more time. He raised his sickle and started cutting fiercely. He had to complete the quest before nightfall since there was 50 experience points on the line. As he was cutting grass, Luo Tian was also thinking on how else to level in the future. Purely relying on Ma Tong to give him quests would make leveling too slow. The dung beetles gave 1 experience point, and to level up from a profound pupil 2nd rank to a 3rd rank required 200 points. It's only 200 dung beetles, yet where was he supposed to find all of them? And there was another thing that Luo Tian was worried about. Will Ma Tong be able to give me unlimited quests? Let's say that he can only give out those 2 quests, then leveling would become even harder. Luo Tian had to make some precautionary plans, the earlier the better. Just as Luo Tian was thinking of these issues, there was a whoosh noise from the forest. A white figure then floated out. Damn, a fairy descended to the mortal realm. Her white dress was fluttering in the air and her long black hair swaying in the wind. Her sword was pointed to the side and the whole image looked like a fairy had descended from the celestial realm. Her elegant movements and her emotional face, add the chilling flash of light reflecting on her sword, made the scene just too beautiful to behold. She was so beautiful that one would suffocate. She was so beautiful that... Yee! Why do I feel like she's pointing her sword at me? *CK. It really is pointed at me. Luo Tian was shocked and his body unconsciously trembled. He quickly jumped to the side and cursed, "Your sister." The grass in the uncultivated lands reached the height of a person's waist. Luo Tian had been bending down to cut the grass all along, and if one didn't look clearly, they wouldn't even see him. With this sudden jump by Luo Tian, the rest of his body was revealed. While floating in the air, the girl holding the sword had a look of panic on her face before yelling out, "Ah, why is there a person here? Go away, quickly leave, I cannot break in time." Superscript 1. Being startled like this, her profound energy was disrupted and she couldn't maintain her balance. The speed of her falling was also extremely quick. Luo Tian kept fleeing and used his previous life's experience of online games and ran an S-curve in order to avoid that sister behind him pursuing to kill. But the worst thing was Luo Tian's S running path was the same as that sister's S flying path, except hers looked more elegant than his. "Stop running all over the place!" that sister yelled out. Luo Tian then turned his head and cried out, "Can you stop flying all over the place?" The moment Luo Tian turned his head around, the expression of the girl in white suddenly changed. "Crap, the profound energy in my Danshan has been depleted." Plop! Her body was like a kite with its strings cut as she fell onto Luo Tian. Luo Tian was planning on stopping to let that sister fly past him further, but their heads smashed together as the weight of the white-clothed sister pressed him down. The speed was too fast and he didn't have time to react. Damn it! Just as he finished saying this, the white-clothed sister's whole body came crashing on top of him. These two people had legs touching each other, hands touching each other, and lips touching each other. It was as if they were trying to overlap one and another. With a smooch, the two lips kissed each other. The worst part was that, unknown if it was the inertia or some other reason, the white-clothed sister's tongue slipped into Luo Tian's mouth. It was a bit slender, a bit slippery, a bit wet, and a bit sweet and fragrant. In that instance, Luo Tian's body started trembling as if he was being electrocuted. This feeling was too wonderful, too awesome. As an otaku, let's not even mention kissing, Luo Tian hadn't even held a girl's hand before. And on this sudden occasion, it was a French kiss. Luo Tian's heart almost couldn't handle it, it was too awesome. One thing that is worth mentioning is that this white-clothed sister was just too beautiful. She was fresher looking than those so-called international supermodels in his previous life. Not only was she thousands of times prettier than those usual goddesses of the otakus, this type of girl was someone Luo Tian wouldn't even dare to dream of. Yet somehow she was now on top of him, a matter that was too sudden for him to comprehend. "Ah!" the white-clothed sister cried out as she opened her eyes. Her cheeks became red and she quickly got up to move all the way to the outside of the grassy field. Her eyes were staring at Luo Tian, who was still relishing in his fortune with a silly smile on his face. She then pouted and said, "Why didn't you run away?" Luo Tian swallowed his saliva and mumbled, "I wanted to run away, but wherever I went, you would fly there. I stopped and you slammed into me, so where do you expect me to run to?" "Ah, oh, then sorry." The white-clothed sister lowered her head in apology, but then her expression immediately changed again to one of anger and dominance. "Nothing happened just then, nothing happened, absolutely nothing happened." Right after saying that fiercely, the white-clothed sister's cheeks started turning red again. Recalling what had just happened made it even redder. That feeling was very special, very unique, a feeling that cannot be described. Luo Tian unconsciously said out loud, "You mean the matter where you kissed me?" The white-clothed sister stomped her right foot and angrily said, "You scoundrel, I didn't kiss you, humph." She was still so cute looking with her angry face. Luo Tian lightly smiled and was about to say something when his expression changed. He then yelled out, "Quickly go away, hurry!" The white-clothed sister angrily pouted and stared at Luo Tian. With her hands planted on her hips, she then yelled at Luo Tian, "You tell me to go away and I'll go away? This isn't your house, so I'm not leaving, humph." Luo Tian shrugged his shoulders and said, "Up to you. It was you that stepped on the ant nest and not me." That previous stomp by the white-clothed sister just happened to be on top of an ant nest. After being stepped on like that, fiery red ants started pouring out of the nest and went straight for the white-clothed sister's legs. The white-clothed sister looked down and her face paled. She then started jumping up and down while screaming "Ag!" The body of these fiery red ants was rather large and there was a red light shimmering on their bodies as if they were poisonous. Luo Tian was afraid the white-clothed sister was going to be bitten, so he carried her in his arms and jumped away a few times. Seeing that there were dozens of ants still crawling on her clothes, he immediately cried out, "Take off your clothes, quickly take them off." The anxious face of the white-clothed sister turned red. It was currently summer, so apart from her underwear, she only wore a dress over it. If she was to take it off, the white-clothed sister couldn't make up her mind. Luo Tian noticed an ant was trying to go under the white-clothed sister's dress, so he started cursing in his heart, "You damn pervert, this daddy hasn't gotten the chance to peek yet and you're already going for it. Screw you." Luo Tian didn't bother anymore and started forcefully pulling at the white-clothed girl's clothes while urgently saying, "Quickly take it off, the ant has crawled inside your clothes." Hearing Luo Tian's words, the white-clothed sister's heart started racing in another round of jumping. At the same time, her clothes were being quickly taken off by Luo Tian. Only the body binder was left on the upper half of her body, while her two white mounds that were growing quite healthily shook with her jumping. Her flawless skin was like white jade that exuded endless temptation. Luo Tian had gone completely bonkers from staring at it. "What are you looking at, you stinky rogue?" The white-clothed sister used both hands to block her chest. Her face blushed red as she angrily pouted at Luo Tian. Luo Tian was swallowing his own saliva like crazy and looked off to the side. At the same time, he was smacking her clothes in attempts to get rid of the ants. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing the fiery ant. You have gained 1 experience point 0 profound points, et. This ant is giving me experience. Luo Tian was inwardly shocked. He glanced at the dozen or so ants on the clothing and threw it on the ground before stomping all over it. The alert tones of the system kept continuously going off. Ding! Congratulations to player, congratulations, the white-clothed sister stared in a daze. She was watching Luo Tian jumping like crazy while looking at her poor clothes on the ground. That's my clothing. You bastard. The white-clothed sister thought Luo Tian was deliberately ruining her clothing so that she couldn't put it back on. That way this bastard could look at her all he wanted. After a round of furious stomping, the ants on the clothing had all been killed and the clothing had become tatters. Luo Tian grinned and said, "To think I'd get experience from them, and there's still a nest over there. It looks like I can look forward to leveling up soon, haha." While he was smiling, he suddenly felt a chill. A pair of eyes that looked like they were going to eat him was staring at him. The white-clothed sister. That's not right, she should now be called the bodybinder sister. The bodybinder sister fiercely glared at Luo Tian and angrily said, "You need to give me a clothing, you have to pay me back a shirt, how do you expect me to leave like this?" Luo Tian was too excited previously and didn't think of this matter. Looking at the half-naked sister with just a body binder on, he apologetically said, "I was too rash and forgot for a moment, I'm really sorry for that." Immediately after, Luo Tian quickly took off his shirt and smiled apologetically, "If you don't mind, you can wear my shirt and leave." Luo Tian only had one piece of clothing on the top, so once he took that off, he had a bare upper body. His body was very thin and was filled with small and long scars. These scars were mostly given to him by fellow clansmen. Luo Tian looked down at himself and was shocked himself. It was natural for a flame to ignite in his heart as he clenched his fists. The girl's eyes were filled with shock. She was originally quite angry, but upon seeing all the scars on Luo Tian's body, she unconsciously shuddered from the pain. "The scars on your body," Luo Tian lightly smiled and replied, "I'm fine, these are something of the past. From today onwards, no one will ever leave another scar on me ever again." The girl looked at Luo Tian as he stopped talking. She never imagined it was possible for a person to have so many scars. What sort of past did he have? Out of the blue, the girl started feeling very curious towards Luo Tian. The girl hesitated briefly before covering herself with Luo Tian's clothing and wrapping it tightly around her body. It was around this time a killing intent came crashing over. Luo Tian's eyes tensed up. He watched as a handsome young man flew over in rage. The sword in his hands turned illusory in his hands as he thundered out, "You damn trash, you dare to bully my little sister Shui-er. You're courting death." Superscript 1. There's no TL error, the author is trying to be funny.t/n. In Asian countries, people like to call strangers sister, brother, auntie, uncle as a greeting. Chapter 4. This daddy must become stronger. Chapter 4. This daddy must become stronger. A sword came striking over. The chill of killing intent went straight for Luo Tian's spirit. Suddenly, it was an almost instantaneous reaction by Luo Tian. Upon clenching his fists, the Thunder Tiger fists surged out. A pair of bare fists to block a sharp sword? The eyebrows of the handsome young man quivered as he coldly shouted, "A trash like you wants to resist this young master's sword? You're simply courting death." The speed suddenly changed and a sword light flashed, directly stabbing towards the bare fists thrown out by Luo Tian. "Watch me first cripple your hands." The expression of the girl changed as she raised her sword wanting to stop it, but everything had happened too fast and she couldn't stop it in time. Her heart couldn't help but feel anxious for Luo Tian. The handsome young man was called Luo Lin, and he was the Luo family's number 1 in their youngest generation. But he used to be number 2 and Luo Tian of the past was number 1. It was back then when Luo Tian hadn't been crippled yet, and that Luo Lin wasn't even qualified to fight with him. But it was different now. Luo Lin's cultivation level had reached the profound pupil's 8th rank. Not even mentioning his strength, his identity also underwent a transformation like in the movies. The acting patriarch Luo Jianshan was his father, so he was now the Luo family's real young master. Luo Lin cultivated swordsmanship and his sword skills were extremely high. This sword strike of his was something all the clan members of their younger generation weren't capable of blocking. Luo Tian wanted to dodge. But at this time, his body had been sealed by Luo Lin's cold sword. He couldn't hide or escape from the strike, so he could only clash against it. Thunder Tiger fists. Left thunder, right tiger, both fists struck out together. As if his fists were fused with the power of thunder and a tiger, the imposing and ferocious momentum surged out. Whoosh! Bang! A trace of lightning flashed out of Luo Tian's left fist as it resisted the sword. However, in less than half a breath, that trace of lightning collapsed from the sword strike. A surge of aura then directly slammed into Luo Tian's chest. Bang! Luo Tian flew off after being struck by this energy. A chilling light flashed by Luo Lin, who didn't expect that his sword strike couldn't destroy Luo Tian's hands. With anger seething in his heart, he then coldly sneered, "You damn trash, just you alone and you want to resist this young master's sword? You should go take a piss and look at yourself to see what qualifications you have." His voice hadn't faded yet. Luo Lin's figure turned illusory as he waved his sword and rushed at Luo Tian again. In a low voice, "You dog thing, let's see where you can escape to now." Luo Tian's eyes tightened as he clenched his fists. There's too much difference in strength. A profound pupil first rank and a profound pupil 8th rank was too much of a gap. Luo Tian's heart was seething in anger and his clenched jaws gave off crack sounds. He then promised himself, "Don't let this daddy have a chance to survive this or else this daddy will beat the shit right out of you one day." With this sword strike, Luo Tian had no more strength to resist it. In such a situation where one was powerless to fight back, the pain of being trampled on wasn't something a person couldn't bear with. Luo Tian sat on the grass and stared at the incoming Luo Lin. The muscle on his face twitched and his face looked extremely gloomy. A laugh escaped out of Luo Lin's mouth, "You damn trash, go and die for me." The sword was stabbing towards Luo Tian's gate of vitality meridian, head area. Luo Tian kept his eyes opened as he clenched his fists while his heart was filled with unwillingness. He then roared out like an evil demon, "If you have the guts, you better kill this daddy or else this daddy will pay you back 1,000 times. Feel like crap? Feel like complete shit? What can you do about it? This world was where the strong dominate, and the weak would be bullied and lead the life of an ant. If you want to change that, then you had to become strong." The moment before his death, Luo Tian almost felt the arrival of the Reaper. It was also at this moment. "Stay your hand." The girl's sword flicked out, causing Luo Lin's sword to rise up by 3 centimeters. The chilling aura of the sword whooshed past Luo Tian's head, taking a few strands of hair with it. Luo Tian's heart had risen up to his throat, and while ignoring his own image, he started crawling away. He had almost lost his life, so who gives a shit about image right now? The facial expression of Luo Lin slightly changed and his sword shifted direction. Looking at Luo Tian's embarrassing demeanor, Luo Lin couldn't help smirking before mocking him again. "Trash is truly trash. I really don't understand what reason you have for still living in this world. If it was me, I would have killed myself early on." "Luo Lin." The girl glared at Luo Lin and said, "He too is a human being, so I hope you would show a little bit more respect with your words." Luo Lin turned around to look at the girl and laughed in disdain, "He's still considered human? In my eyes, he's even lower than a damn dog. Little sister Shui, you don't know but, he is the Luo family's, that's wrong, he is Jade Mountain City's biggest piece of trash. It is exactly this piece of trash that has lost all of our Luo family's face." In front of everyone in the entire Jade Mountain City, he was beaten by a beggar to the point he couldn't even get up. "If it were me, I would have killed myself already." Luo Tian's forehead tightened. A memory came gushing forth. First he was seriously injured by a mysterious person, then someone deliberately switched his spiritual medicine to a dispersing spirit pill. Finally, he was led to the streets where he was beaten by a disciple of the Luo family pretending to be a beggar. That day, Luo Tian's energy was in disarray, or else how would he let a beggar shame him like so? On the dueling stage of Jade City Mountain, in front of all the citizens of the city, Luo Tian was beaten by a beggar to the point where he couldn't even retaliate. He couldn't even get up afterwards. This was all a trap. Even if Luo Tian thought with his toes, he knew that all of this was single-handedly directed by Luo Jianshan. His Danshan was shattered, and his cultivation was crippled. Even with that, Luo Jianshan didn't let him go and created a scene where he lost all face in front of the clan, and the entire city. Luo Jianshan wanted everyone to know the former genius Luo Tian had now become trash, a trash that was even lower than a beggar. From that day on, Luo Tian would suffer beatings almost every day. Anyone in a bad mood would use him as a punching bag. He then became the Luo family's human punching bag. If they were in a bad mood, he will get beaten. If they were in a good mood, he would get beaten. These scenes from his memory were playing back in Luo Tian's mind. Luo Tian's anger was like a volcano erupting as he said to himself, "What a dog shit family. This daddy has read countless novels but has never seen such a ruthless family. You guys just wait, as long as I can stay alive, this daddy will eventually take back everything." The girl glanced at Luo Tian and mumbled, "So he's Luo Tian. Right. He is that huge piece of trash Luo Tian." Luo Lin coldly smiled and said, "Little sister Shui Er." As Luo Lin was speaking, the girl started walking towards Luo Tian's side, lowered her body and picked out a piece of grass from Luo Tian's hair. Her eyes glistened with tears as she lightly asked, "Does it hurt?" Luo Tian shuddered in surprise as he seemed to recall her expression. Her expression looked familiar but he couldn't remember where he had seen it before. Luo Tian stiffly shook his head, "It doesn't hurt." To the side, Luo Lin's eyes looked like they were shooting out flames. The sword in his hands detected his killing intent and started giving off a buzzing sound. The girl had never spoken to him so tenderly before. What qualifications did the piece of trash Luo Tian have to receive this? Luo Lin's face clearly showed his killing intent as the muscles at the corner of his eyes started twitching as he stared at Luo Tian. In a sudden reversal, the girl turned around and coldly looked at Luo Lin before saying, "Didn't you always want me to accompany you in practicing your sword skills? If you let him off today, I will agree to practice the sword with you." "What?" Luo Lin was surprised and immediately showed a smiling face before saying, "Are your words for real?" The girl nodded, "As long as you promise that from this day on, you will never trouble him anymore." Luo Lin didn't even glance at Luo Tian and said, "As long as you agree to accompany me with training my sword skills, why would I bother making the life of a piece of trash difficult?" Haha, as he was saying this, Luo Lin coldly glanced at Luo Tian on the ground. He then coldly laughed in his heart, "I won't personally cause him any trouble but it doesn't mean I won't send others to cause him trouble. That piece of trash eventually needs to die." The girl turned around and seriously looked at Luo Tian as a tear dripped down her cheek. She wanted to say something but held it back and said to herself, "Big brother Luo Tian, do you really not remember Shui Er?" She wanted to ask that out loud but held back in the end. She was afraid that she'll attract more problems for Luo Tian. Soon after, the girl walked away. Luo Lin coldly sneered, "You dog thing, I will spare your life just for today." He then rushed after the girl after saying that. Luo Tian was the only one left in the uncultivated lands. He frowned as he watched the back of the girl walking off and mumbled, "Who was she? She seems familiar but I can't remember." "Forget it. It's no use thinking about it, my priority now is to level up." What had just happened had made Luo Tian once again realize the importance of being strong. One was lower than dog fart when one did not have strength. Being pointed at by a sword, being overwhelmed with momentum, he couldn't even control his own life. In the end, he had to rely on a woman to rescue him. All of this had deeply stimulated Luo Tian. Become stronger. He absolutely had to become stronger. Only when one becomes stronger can they change everything, including controlling their own destiny. Luo Tian raised his head to look at the sky as he clenched his fists. He then climbed back onto his feet and ran over to the nest of fiery ants. After watching them scurrying around, he viciously stomped down. Splat, splat, congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing a fiery ant, gaining 1 experience point. 0 profound energy. Congratulations! Both his feet were stomping around like crazy and the fiery ants were continuously being stomped to death. The system's alert in his mind kept sounding off, and Luo Tian was occasionally bitten by a fiery ant that crawled onto him. It was quite painful, but he completely disregarded it. Compared to the shame he suffered, this pain was considered nothing. Die, die, die. After 10 minutes or so, over 100 fiery ants had perished by his feet. Luo Tian's body was filled with red lumps and unbearable pain. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. Your current level is Profound Pupil 2nd rank. Leveled up. Profound Pupil 2nd rank, this was 2 continuous breakthroughs in one day. No one could compare to this speed, but Luo Tian wasn't happy one bit. A Profound Pupil 2nd rank was still too weak, and won't be able to even take on a single strike of Luo Lin's sword. After pausing a bit, Luo Tian once again went looking for the scattered fiery ants. He then shouted, again. Over 10 years ago, in a small courtyard of the Luo family, a little boy and a little girl were playing family together. Big brother Luo Tian, I will pretend to be a bride and you'll marry me, okay? A little girl in pigtails wearing a white dress asked in a serious manner. The other little boy was wearing open-slit pants. He rubbed his runny nose and left behind a long smear of booger before laughing, sure. The little girl in pigtails started laughing and asked in a flighty tone, will you marry me in the future? The booger-nosed little boy smiled and acted a bit shy before nodding, N. The little girl jumped up in joy and quickly landed a kiss on the little boy's cheek. She then ran away like crazy and happily said, Big brother Luo Tian will make me his bride, giggle. Big brother Luo Tian will make me his bride, giggle. Chapter 5 Beating Up Ma Tong. Chapter 5 Beating Up Ma Tong. The passage of time flowed on, and in a blink of an eye, evening had arrived. Luo Tian brought back the last stone of grass to the stables, and before he even reached it, he already heard a voice of condemnation. Feng Lei, you damn dog bastard, if you go out stirring up trouble again, just watch me beat you to death. Is the young master really okay? With your piece of trash status, you want to cause trouble with young master Luo Yu? Why don't you take a piss and look at your own reflection and see what kind of shit you really are? Is the young master really okay? Pack, pack, in between the conversation, 2 slaps were heard. A youth with a large body like an ox, who was almost 2 meters in height, stood next to Ma Tong. No matter how much he was smacked about, the large youth would keep a smile on his face as if he was a mentally disabled person. His name was Feng Lei, Luo Tian's sole servant. Instead of calling him a servant, might as well call him a brother. The two of them grew up together. They didn't have the same family name, but they were as close as biological brothers. After Luo Tian was crippled, Feng Lei could have left him and became an official disciple of the Luo family, but he chose to continue following Luo Tian. Because of his relationship with Luo Tian, Feng Lei was almost beaten up every day as well. Most of the time, he would substitute himself to be beaten instead of Luo Tian. The scars on his body almost covered his entire body, but he never regretted his decision. He has always been like this, acting like a fool. When talking about Feng Lei's history, no one knows about it in the Luo family. He was brought back by Luo Tian's father from the ghostly mountain range. At that time, he was only about 1 year old. His eyes looked like a beast's and he exhibited strange behaviors. Everyone in the Luo family was against him staying, but Luo Zhen used his status as the family's patriarch to forcefully allow him to stay. Luo Zhen gave him a name, slowly taught him to speak, walk, and read. He was treated like a real son. 1 year later, Luo Tian was born, and Feng Lei looked at this little brother of his with intimacy. From that day on, Feng Lei promised himself that he will take good care of protecting Luo Tian. But later on, Luo Tian's talent was revealed and he cultivated very quickly. On the other hand, Feng Lei was clueless when it came to cultivation, so most of the time, it was Luo Tian who protected him. Until Luo Tian's cultivation was crippled. Their 2 lives suddenly dropped into the depths of hell. Every time he sees Luo Tian getting beaten up, Feng Lei didn't care who it was or how strong the opponent was, he would rush up and take most of the blows meant for Luo Tian. In Luo Tian's memories, most of them were related to Feng Lei. Luo Tian was personally moved by everything he saw in his memories. He even envied the brotherly relationship those two had. Therefore, when Luo Tian entered the stables and saw that Feng Lei was taking a beating by Ma Tong, he rushed up and shouted at Ma Tong, "I dare you to beat him one more time. Young master! Young master, you're really okay." Feng Lei grinned, his smile was just like an idiot's. At this time, Feng Lei was full of bruises and his body was covered in mud. One look and anyone could tell he was beaten quite viciously by someone. Once he found out that Luo Yu had beaten Luo Tian up, Feng Lei rushed out looking for Luo Yu to take revenge. In the afternoon, Feng Lei found Luo Yu at the martial training field. He hadn't even gotten close to Luo Yu when a group of people had already surrounded him, beating and kicking him half to death. Feng Lei struggled like crazy trying to get close to Luo Yu. But there were too many people surrounding him and his strength was too weak, he could only take the beating when dealing with the Luo family's disciples. He hadn't even taken revenge yet and was already severely beaten. He started panicking again when he returned to the stables and couldn't find Luo Tian, and nearly kicked up a ruckus with Ma Tong. When he finally heard from Ma Tong that Luo Tian had gone to the back mountains to cut wild grass, he reverted to his fool-like smile and allowed Ma Tong to curse and smack him around. The look in Ma Tong's eyes changed as he coldly stared at Luo Tian before cursing out, "Oi oi, did you eat a bear's heart or a leopard's gallbladder? A damn piece of trash like you dares to speak to me like that." After saying that, a slap once again landed on Feng Lei's face. Ma Tong's eyes stared at Luo Tian and in an aggressive tone, "I struck him, so what are you going to do about it? You useless shit, you dare to challenge me? This daddy will see if you're tired of living." After saying that, Ma Tong slapped again and cursed out, "I struck him again, what do you dare to do about it? You two pieces of trash going out all over the place causing trouble for me. One goes off to provoke young master Luo Yu, while the other wants a taste of swan meat and provoke young master Luo Lin. You guys don't even take a look at what you are, pieces of trash, complete and pure trash. You both are Luo family's 2 biggest pile of trash." Pack. Another slap landed. Pack. And another slap. Feng Lei at the profound pupil 1st rank against Ma Tong at the profound pupil 3rd rank had no abilities to resist. Feng Lei didn't dodge because he was afraid that if Ma Tong couldn't hit him, he might go after Luo Tian. So, he just stood there like a fool and allowed Ma Tong to smack him however he wanted. After several slaps, Feng Lei's cheeks were now swollen and some blood started seeping out at the corner of his mouth. Anger was seething in Luo Tian's heart as he menacingly stared at Ma Tong as if he wanted to eat him alive. A kick landed on Feng Lei's body before Ma Tong coldly glanced at Luo Tian and pointed at him cursing, "You dog thing, you dare to look at me that way? This daddy thinks your skin is itching for a beating too." After saying that, Ma Tong pulled out the whip at his waist. Raising his right hand, he whipped towards Luo Tian's direction. Luo Tian clenched his fist and didn't dodge out of the way. The end of the whip lashed onto his chest, the muscles opened up and started burning. The pain was unbearable, but Luo Tian still coldly smiled, "Steward Ma, I have finished cutting 10 stones of wild grass." For a moment, Ma Tong wasn't sure how to respond but nodded. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for completing the quest, cut 10 stones of fresh grass for the horses. You have gained 50 experience points for completing the quest. His experience bar was instantly filled up with 50 points. Right after that, the system's alert sounded off again. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. You are now at the profound pupil 3rd rank. Right after the alert for leveling up, Luo Tian's facial expression changed and he punched out and cursed at the same time, "F*** your ancestors. Luo Lin was at the profound pupil 8th rank, which was too much of a gap, so I couldn't deal with him. Now that this daddy has leveled up and entered the realm of a profound pupil 3rd rank, how can I not deal with a little steward of the stables? Every bit of anger exploded out of Luo Tian. A punch came smashing out. All the power of a profound pupil 3rd rank exploded forth. The flame of anger in his heart was also instantly released. Memories of the insults, ridicule, and the beatings surfaced. The shame he suffered in the back mountains by Luo Lin. The unbearable pain of not being in control of one's own fate, the unbearable pain of being trampled on. All of this followed along that single punch and exploded forth. Like a surging wave. Luo Tian was similar to a crazy demon as his eyes became bloodshot. Ma Tong didn't have time to put his guard up since he never expected Luo Tian to make a move. He definitely didn't expect Luo Tian's strength to have reached the profound pupil 3rd rank. This punch knocked him flying back several meters. But Ma Tong had been stuck at the profound pupil 3rd rank for many years and his cultivation had already reached the peak of it. Enduring the pain in his chest, both of Ma Tong's eyes looked like they were going to spray out flames. He stepped forward and roared, "You mixed-breed dog, you dare to sneak attack this daddy? You're courting death." As he was talking, he had already rushed up towards Luo Tian. The corner of Luo Tian's lips curved up as he coldly said, "Let's see who's the one courting death." Before he reached the profound pupil 3rd rank, Luo Tian didn't dare to make a move. It was, after all, a difference of 1 rank. If he happened to fail, then the consequences would be unthinkable. After completing the quest, it was just enough for him to level up. Profound pupil 3rd rank versus profound pupil 3rd rank, even if Luo Tian was scared, he still had to fight. A person on the cultivation path cannot be afraid. He was helpless if the disparity was too big, but why not fight if they're on the same level? Watching his brother being beaten and not raising a hand, would he still be considered human? Luo Tian raised both his fists and then punched out. He yelled in his mind, "Thunder Tiger Fists!" At the same time, Ma Tong also threw out a heavy punch. But the skill behind his punch was ordinary and didn't have any martial skills contained within it. He had never learned any martial skills and within the Luo family, he wasn't qualified to learn a martial skill. Their 2 fists met and Ma Tong's arm made a crack noise. It was the sound of bones fracturing. Defeated by 1 punch. This was the advantage of a martial skill. When those on the same levels fought, one can only accept the abuse when their own martial skill was below their opponent's. Ma Tong's face suddenly lost all color and looked at Luo Tian in shock. Fear rose in his heart as he staggered backwards. He then said with pain, You, isn't your Danshan crippled? How could you have such power? You, what do you plan on doing to me? Come." Upon saying that, a slap landed on Ma Tong's face. "Come again." Another slap was thrown. "King, come at me again. Weren't you very fierce? Weren't you very arrogant? Why don't you show this daddy how arrogant you were just then?" Luo Tian roared out. A series of slaps came after that, causing Ma Tong to feel confused and disoriented. Not to mention fighting back, he didn't even dare look at Luo Tian. His heart was filled with fear as he started begging for mercy. With a kick, Luo Tian sent Ma Tong sprawling into a horse stall. Ma Tong then fainted. Upon seeing the unconscious Ma Tong, Luo Tian then said to himself, "If I weren't sure if you would keep giving me quests in the future, this daddy would have absolutely killed you already." In order to level up, he had to rely on the small daily quests and couldn't miss out on them. Or else Luo Tian would have definitely made a killing blow. Feng Lei had been standing at the side the whole time with shock, he was just staring at Luo Tian like an idiot, completely dumbstruck. It was quite a while before he issued a sentence, "Young master is so powerful." Chapter 6 The Quest That Was Forced Out. Chapter 6 The Quest That Was Forced Out. Pack. Do you have any tasks for me today? No, No, Pack. How can there be none? Walking the horses, feeding them grass, cleaning the area, there's so many things to do, so how can you not have tasks for me? This old servant will take care of them, how would I dare trouble you with it? Pack. Give them all to me. I don't dare, just let this old servant do them. Pack. This daddy tells you to give it to me, so just give it to me, cut the bullshit. Ma Tong's cheeks were green and purple, and his two eyes were beaten until they looked like panda eyes. He had lost some teeth and his hair was in a mess. He was tortured by Luo Tian until the point he didn't look human. He looked at Luo Tian with extreme fear before weakly saying, Then I'll give them to you to take care of. Ding! A quest has been gained, clean the stables. You will gain 30 experience points upon completing the quest. A quest has been gained, walk the horses. You will gain 20 experience points upon completing the quest. A quest has been gained, feed grass to horses. You will gain 10 experience points upon completing the quest. Luo Tian smiled in satisfaction and slapped Ma Tong in the face again. With a laugh, you are so cheap, I had to smack you half dead before you were willing to give me the tasks. He was secretly glad in his heart that he hadn't killed Ma Tong yesterday, otherwise he wouldn't have gotten these quests. Although the experience weren't much, every point counted for the current Luo Tian. The early stages required these experience in order to level up. Young master, Feng Lei was carrying a bag and panting as he ran to Luo Tian. With a silly smile, young master, I looked around every latrine pit and this is all I could find. After saying that, Feng Lei opened the bag and a stench drifted out. Inside was over 10 dung beetles. Luo Tian patted Feng Lei's shoulder and said, Fatty Lei, you did quite well. Once young master has money, I will treat to eat some meat. Feng Lei scratched his head and showed a silly smile. After hearing that he could eat meat, his saliva almost dripped out of his mouth. Eating meat had always been his dream. It's already been 3 years, he even forgot how meat tasted like. Luo Tian tied the bag back up and threw it to the ground. He then furiously stomped on it. Feng Lei watched Luo Tian's strange actions and didn't question it. He only stood to the side like an idiot and dreaming about Luo Tian taking him out to eat meat. A crazy amount of system alerts sounded off in Luo Tian's mind. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing a dung beetle. 1 experience point has been gained, 0 profound energy, ding! Congratulations, it wasn't even a minute of actions when dozens of dung beetles suffered tragic deaths under Luo Tian's feet. He now had an extra dozen of experience in the bag. Luo Tian looked at his experience bar and lightly smiled, Fatty Lei, go out and look for more dung beetles for me. Once you find 100 of them, young master will definitely take you out to eat meat. Feng Lei's eyes widened, eat meat? For real? Of course, when has young master ever lied to you? Luo Tian replied. Feng Lei picked up the bag with a smile and ran off while panting. Luo Tian didn't stay idle, and quickly completed his quests one at a time. 3 days later. Early morning. Luo Tian gave Ma Tong a beating, but unfortunately he couldn't force out any quests. It wasn't that Ma Tong didn't give Luo Tian any tasks, it's just that he no longer gave them out as quests. It was almost like the quests were all done. This was the reason why Luo Tian was viciously beating Ma Tong. How come there are no more quests? He hadn't even leveled up to profound pupil 4th rank yet and there were already no more quests available. How can Luo Tian not be angry? Why would he not take it out on Ma Tong? Not to mention this Ma Tong was the one that had beaten him up the most, so if he didn't take it out on him, then he wasn't Luo Tian. Without the daily quests was equivalent to a big loss of experience, making his leveling much slower. After ferociously beating Ma Tong, Luo Tian squatted in the corner of the stables and mumbled to himself, since I'm not getting any quests right now, I have to find another way to gain experience. I can't just keep on waiting and doing nothing. Fatty Lay, are there any places nearby Jade Mountain City that has a lot of wild beasts? It's regular wild beasts and not demonic beasts. Luo Tian reminded him. Wild beasts and demonic beasts were on totally different levels. Killing wild beasts were possible while he wouldn't even dare think of killing demonic beasts. Feng Lei was sitting on the ground and scratched his head for a while. He then shook his head and said, I don't really know. Is young master thinking of killing wild beasts and giving me the meat to eat? Yesterday, Feng Lei had completed his task of finding 100 dung beetles, so all he has been thinking about was eating meat. Eat, 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 all you know is how to eat. Luo Tian wasn't really angry and continued, isn't it just a meal filled with meat? I will definitely let you eat it. He didn't even have a cent on him. Not to mention eating meat, finding 3 meals a day was a big problem already. Around this time, 4 Luo family's official disciples came around the stables. The hunting contest is about to start, this time I'll definitely become a core disciple. As long as we brothers kill together, I believe we'll have a chance in being a core disciple. Did you guys hear? The rewards for this time's hunting contest is very generous. In addition to last year's rewards, there's also a Xian stone. A Xian stone? The same Xian stone that's filled with profound energy? That's like an ultimate treasure for cultivating. A single Xian stone could allow someone to break through into the profound master realm. If I were the one to get it, I will definitely be able to step into the profound master realm. Stop dreaming. The reason our patriarch is willing to increase the rewards this time is very simple. Luo Lin's already at the profound pupil 8th rank, so who's going to challenge him? It's very clear that under the guise of fairness, the patriarch is going to give the Xian stone to his own son. Can't you guys even see this? Hearing you say this, now it sounds most likely. Amongst all the youngest Luo family's generation of disciples, only young Master Luo Lin is qualified to get that Xian stone. If it's anyone else, I won't accept it. That's right, there's no one in the Luo family that can compete with young Master Luo Linear. If it were Luo Tian before he was crippled, that freaking huge piece of trash lost all face for our Luo family, so what qualifications does he have to compete with young Master Luo Lin? I get pissed off whenever I think of him. If it weren't for him, how would our Luo family end up like this? Enough, don't mention that trash. We are here to pick out horses to test train in the mountains. This training is very important to us, so we must carefully grasp. The 4 of them entered the stables and the one leading them loudly yelled out, Steward Ma, pick 4 of your best horses for us. We have to head to the mountains for training. Ma Tong clutched his face and limped out of his office and showed a pleasing smile. Those stalls over there are all good horses, you guys can select on your own. Steward Ma, your face? Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. His nose was green, his face puffy, he had panda eyes, and his 2 front teeth were missing. Add on his weird limp, the 4 all started laughing upon seeing him. Tears glistened in Ma Tong's eyes as it contained a sense of hatred in them. Just when he was about to say something, Luo Tian came up to them. One hand patted Ma Tong's shoulder before he smiled, These young masters, is there something we can be of service to you? Ma Tong felt pain on his shoulder and his whole body started shaking. The words that had reached his throat were swallowed back down. Upon seeing Luo Tian, the expression of the 4 turned into contempt. One of them coldly said, Humph, you piece of trash haven't died yet? Didn't we hear that young Master Luo you beat him to death? Your dog life is truly tough. You're wasting Luo family's food by staying alive and losing face for all the people of the Luo family. Why not just die a little earlier and call it a day? Anger appeared on Feng Lei's face as he clenched his fists off to the side. If it weren't for Luo Tian blocking him, he would have rushed at them already. There was only one outcome from Feng Lei rushing forth: he would be miserably beaten. The official disciples of the Luo family were at or above the profound pupil 3rd rank. 2 out of the 4 were already at the profound pupil 4th rank, so if there was really a fight, Luo Tian wouldn't be able to deal with those two. Luo Tian's lips curved into a smile and bowed. These 4 young masters should go select a horse. Seeing how complimentary Luo Tian was acting while having a superior expression on his face, one of them mocked, "Trash will always be trash." The 4 went towards the stalls and quickly selected 4 horses. Luo Tian and Feng Lei brought the horses out of the stalls and handed the reins to the 4. Originally thinking this would be over, the one leading the group glanced at Luo Tian and coldly smiled, "It might take us several days to train in the mountains, you two will help us look after the horses." "What? We are only responsible for the horses inside the stables. Outside of the stables, is not any of our business. If you want someone to look after your horses, go look for someone else," Feng Lei unhappily said. F***ck. Having you 2 pieces of trash look after our horses is your fortune. I give you F***ing face and you guys don't appreciate it. When it comes to you pieces of trash, this daddy can beat you to death and no one would care about it. You've gone too far. Feng Lei originally had a bad temper. He started rolling up his sleeves and was about to rush forward. Luo Tian grinned and blocked the enraged Feng Lei. He then laughed and said, "Being able to take care of 4 young masters' horses is definitely our fortune. We will go, we will definitely go." When that disciple mentioned taking care of horses, an alert sounded off in Luo Tian's mind. Ding! A quest has been obtained, taking care of the horses. You will be rewarded with 80 experience points upon quest completion. He'll definitely do it if there's a quest involved. Furthermore, from the dialogue between the 4, Luo Tian noted they were going to the mountains for training. Based on their current strength, they certainly wouldn't dare to enter the ghostly mountain range and must be another mountain. What other places would have beasts for them to hunt? "Young master, these 4 are only the extensions of the Luo family, what qualifications do they have to act so arrogantly in front of you? Back then, they were like dogs in front of you," Feng Lei indignantly said. "You damn fatso, what did you say? Mother ***, this daddy thinks you must be tired of living. What young master? Dog fart young master more like it. Do you guys think it was still like back then? You should wake up." Luo Tian gave Feng Lei an eye signal but the big lughead completely ignored it. Luo Tian could only step forward and apologetically smile, "Please don't get angry these 4 young masters. My brother has something wrong with his brains so please don't take offense. We've agreed to take care of your horses and we'll definitely do it." "Humph, it's good you know how to behave." Luo Tian dryly laughed, and went into stables intending to get 2 more horses. "What are you doing? You mere stable hands wanted to ride horses along with us? You should look at yourselves and see what status you have." Luo Tian turned around and asked helplessly, "If we don't ride a horse, how are we to catch up to you all? Use your legs to run, are they just there for decoration? Luo family's biggest piece of trash wants to ride a horse? Aren't you afraid riding out in public will cause people to laugh until their teeth fall out?" The expression of Luo Tian's eyes changed as he walked out of the stables. With a crafty smile, "These young masters will have to lead the way. Ha ha ha, so obedient. The once mighty Luo family's ultimate genius has now become like this. Ha ha ha." The 4 climbed onto their horses, flicked their horsewhips and galloped out of the stables. "Big piece of trash, quickly catch up with us. If you can't catch up, don't blame this daddy for not being polite." Feng Lei was burning in fury and heavily said, "Young master." Luo Tian narrowed his eyes, killing intent flashed in them as he stared at the backs of those 4. He then said to himself, "Wait until this daddy completes the quest, then your doomsday will arrive." Chapter 7 Making a Move. Chapter 7 Making a Move. Dark Spirit Mountain, to the side of the ghostly mountain range. The surface area compared to the towering ghostly mountain range was like comparing it to a hill. But it was seemingly small but was still very dangerous there. Even though it was difficult for one to encounter a demonic beast, the regular wild beasts there were still extremely cruel. People typically wouldn't dare to enter that area. Luo Yan, Luo Ming, Luo Zhu, and Luo Wan, those four were training here in hopes to make a breakthrough while in battle. They were making their final preparations for the Luo family's hunting contest. Noontime, the sun was blazing in the sky. The four of them got off their horses. Luo Yan, who was leading the group, glanced at the gloomy dark spirit mountain and said, 3 days, we must make some type of breakthrough within 3 days. The hunting contest is our only chance. Whether we can become core disciples of the Luo family will all depend on this training. Don't worry, this year we'll definitely become core disciples. All the disciples of the Luo family yearn to become core disciples. Once one becomes a core disciple, they will receive even more cultivating resources, and gain the clan's attention and grooming. Becoming a core disciple was also a status symbol. The Luo family's hunting contest would be held once a year. For all those Luo family's disciples under the age of 18 can participate. As long as they are able to kill a demonic beast in the ghostly mountain range within a time limit, they will be eligible to become a core disciple. From then on, their path to brilliance would be inevitable. During the contest, whoever hunted the most demonic beasts would come in first place. The prize for the first place this year was very generous. Entering the family's library pavilion to select a martial skill, and 3 spirit condensation pills. And this year, there was an additional Xian stone as a reward. The previous year's competition was very fierce, but there was basically no suspense for this year's. For those under 18 years of age, Luo Lin had the highest cultivation at the profound pupil 8th rank. With his strength, the prize was already in his bag. Passing through a small path in the dark spirit mountains, 2 figures were getting closer. Their throats parched, their lips cracked from being too dry, their whole body drenched, and sweat was dripping from their hair. Those 2 who had been running all along almost died on the way here. Look at you 2 pieces of trash, you've only ran a bit and you're already this tired. Truly shameful. It's good that there are no outsiders here, or else you'd disgrace us once again. Forget it, stop fussing over these pieces of trash. You 2 better take good care of our horses. If there's any problem, you guys will be responsible for the outcome. After saying that, the 4 tossed the reins at them. After a final glance of disdain, they then went towards an area with dense foliage. Luo Tian was gasping for his breath while trying to swallow to wet his dry throat. His eyes narrowed as he silently cursed the 18 generations of those 4's ancestors. If it weren't for the quest, he would have already made a move against them. However, when Luo Yan finished his words, an alert sounded off in his mind already. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for completing the quest. You have gained 80 experience points as a reward. His heart couldn't help feeling a gush of joy. F***ing hell, the quest has been completed, so this daddy no longer has to hold back. In his previous life and this current life, Luo Tian had never run so much. This was even F***ing longer than a marathon. He couldn't believe he was actually able to run this far. What pissed him off the most was that from time to time, Luo Yan and them would stop and start taunting and insulting him. The rage in Luo Tian's heart was continuously increasing, and there were several times he almost lost it. It was fortunate his sensible self kept telling him that he couldn't make a move, he cannot make a move. Before the quest is completed, he cannot raise a hand. He had to at least give face to the experience points and endure everything. I've suffered too much. If it weren't for the quest, I really would have made a move already. This was because he didn't have the strength. With strength, one can enter the mountains and kill demonic beasts for experience instead of relying on these little quests. He couldn't say a word after being picked on, and he was almost dead from being overly tired. Looking at the gloomy forest, Luo Tian started rubbing his hands together with an excited look before mumbling to himself, "A glance at this place tells me it's a sacred ground for leveling up." Immediately after, Luo Tian kicked Feng Lei, who was lying on the ground like a dead pig, and said, "Fatty Lei, stay here and watch the horses. I'm going to find some food for us to eat." Feng Lei's eyes opened and said, "Be careful, young master, Luo Yan and the others are inside there, so don't let them find you." Don't worry." Luo Tian scoffed and said silently to himself, "This daddy is going in just to find them." After leaving some instructions, Luo Tian entered into the gloomy forest. The Dark Spirit Mountain was similar to any other forests in his previous life. The tree roots crisscrossed each other and the foliage covered the skies. It was quite dark inside the forest and difficult to distinguish one's direction. It's unknown if Luo Yan and the others were afraid that they couldn't leave this place or if they'd separate from each other. Along the way, these four would mark the trunks of trees by hacking at them. It was as if they were afraid of encountering a demonic beast and would be too scared and lose their way back home. Relying on these markings, Luo Tian quickly caught up to their figures. Luo Tian carefully followed them, waiting for an opportunity. "Why do I feel like someone's following us?" Luo Yan, who was at the profound pupil 4th rank, turned around and surveyed the area but didn't notice anything. "Big brother, aren't you just overly worried?" "That's right, there's not even a ghost in sight, so who's going to follow us? Unless it's Luo Tian and Feng Lei, those two pieces of trash following us. If it were those two pieces of trash, I could beat the shit out of them with just one hand." Ha ha ha. Suddenly, Luo Yan's eyes narrowed, and immediately made a gesture for silence. He lowered his voice and said, "There's a black panther up that large tree in front of us." The four looked over in unison. Sure enough, a black panther was hiding in the midst of the thick leaves. Its eyes that shone a green light was staring at the four unblinkingly. While hiding in the dark, Luo Tian was surprised and said to himself, "My opportunity has arrived. Secretly condense your profound energy and we'll pretend we didn't notice it. The moment it attacks us, we'll make our move together." Luo Yan instructed them. The other three glanced at each other and lightly smiled. The profound energy inside their dantian was secretly circulating. They clenched their fists and prepared to attack. The Black Panther didn't notice anything out of the ordinary and slowly moved under the cover of the leaves. It watched as the four got closer before it revealed its fangs. The Black Panther was not even considered a 0-ranked demonic beast, so it definitely wasn't Luo Yan and the other three's opponent. But Luo Tian wanted to borrow the Black Panther's strength. He alone against four people was too difficult, so it had to have the Black Panther create an opportunity for him. And this opportunity was for him to instant kill. Immediately, Luo Tian picked up a small stone and gently flicked it out. Whoosh! The small stone accurately landed on the side of the Black Panther. The Black Panther was startled and opened its bloody mouth. Using its four limbs as support, it rapidly pounced forth. At the same time, Luo Tian issued forth an evil ghostly laugh, "Muahaha! Muahaha!" To suddenly hear a strange laugh in the midst of a dark forest, anyone would jump in fright. Luo Yan and the other three were already very tense, so with the addition of the sudden laughter, they were frightened quite severely. Their facial expression clearly showed panic as the four turned around to look back. It was also at this time that the Black Panther pounced down. Luo Yan's face changed and yelled out, "Watch out, Luo Xiu!" Luo Xiu looked up and only saw the Black Panther aiming to bite his neck. Shock appeared on his face as he shivered in fear. The originally condensed profound energy collapsed because of this. Luo Xiu didn't care about anything and turned around to make a run for it. Hee, here's my chance. Within the darkness, the corner of Luo Tian's lips curved up as he revealed his cold laughter. When Luo Xiu was only a few steps away from him, Luo Tian roared out, "Thunder Tiger Fists!" His two fists were filled with power as it punched out similar to two artillery shells. Luo Xiu's face paled in fright and didn't have time to react to it. Bang! Bang! The pair of fists bombarded Luo Xiu's chest, and his whole body flew off several meters before crashing against a big tree and coming to a stop. Luo Xiu's eyes were protruded and dark blood sprayed out of his mouth. His body slid down the tree and showed no signs of life. He died. In that moment, a pleasant alert tone sounded off in Luo Tian's mind. Chapter 8 A Small Fortune. Chapter 8 A Small Fortune. Hui. Hearing that ding sound, Luo Tian was inwardly surprised. Ding. Player Luo Tian killed Luo Zhu. You have gained 100 experience points, 10 profound energy points. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for obtaining 1 foundation building pill. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for +1 to the undefeatable value. A series of 3 alert tones sounded off. Luo Tian was so shocked that he couldn't even respond. He then said to himself, killing people will give me experience points as well. He never expected this. Even in his dreams, Luo Tian never thought that killing people would give him experience points. It was even higher than those daily quests, and it even gave profound energy as a reward. He had played over 100 online games yet has never seen that killing people would net him experience points. At this point, Luo Tian only wanted to say one thing, F***ing hell, who else? Wait, that's not right, it should be that this is too F***ing awesome. Luo Tian was so happy that he almost felt like a crazy fan seeing their favorite superstar. Looking at the dazed Luo Yan and the other two, Luo Tian's eyes flashed a gold light as if he was looking at 3 experience treasure chests. One step at a time, he walked forward and laughed, "Hello, how are you guys? Luo Tian? Was it you that killed Luo Zhu? How is that possible? Hasn't your Danshan been crippled and you can no longer cultivate?" For a short time, the 3 couldn't accept that Luo Zhu was killed by Luo Tian in one move. Luo Yan's right hand stretched out and grabbed onto the Black Panther's head. He then forcefully threw the Black Panther several meters away. Luo Yan didn't even glance at the Black Panther after throwing it away before quickly rushing towards Luo Tian. With thick killing intent, he yelled, "You killed Luo Zhu! You actually killed Luo Zhu! You actually killed my little brother!" Luo Tian grinned and started laughing out loud from seeing Luo Yan's expression. "I killed him, you gonna bite me? Courting death?" Luo Yan's eyes shifted and threw a palm strike at Luo Tian while roaring, "You will be buried with my little brother." Luo Tian shifted his feet, he wasn't retreating but fighting back with Luo Yan who was at the profound pupil 4th rank. With a low voice, "Your little brother is waiting for you in hell. I've endured you guys for a long time and now I can finally take action. Kill." His pair of fists thrusted out and all the power of his profound pupil's 3rd rank exploded forth. Each time he struck out, Luo Tian wouldn't save any energy. Why throw a second strike when a single strike can kill? Since he has already determined this person will die, there was no need to hold back. If one strike could kill, wouldn't using a second strike be finding trouble for oneself? This wasn't a video game. Luo Tian clearly felt this world he transmigrated to was a real world. This was a cruel world where survival of the fittest reigned. Being merciful to one's enemy meant being cruel to oneself. Profound pupil 4th rank, the strength was 1 level higher than the current Luo Tian. His strength was clearly below his opponent, so Luo Tian could only rely on his Thunder Tiger fists. "Big brother, kill him. Kill this trash and avenge Luo Zhu. Kill him." Luo Yan's eyes widened in rage. Upon facing the fists of Luo Tian, he roared out, "Break for me." With his empty palms, profound energy gushed out from it as he grabbed onto Luo Tian's right hand. Haha, being caught by Big Brother's dragon subduing claws, his whole arm would be twisted off its joint. Break his right arm first, then his left arm. This piece of trash is finished. Luo Tian was inwardly shocked, he never expected that Luo Yan had cultivated a martial skill. And it happened to be a skill that directly restrains his Thunder Tiger fists. But Luo Tian didn't panic, his lips still showed a cold smile. The instant his right fist was caught, Luo Tian roared out, "Tiger charge!" A power exploded forth from the fist and directly impacted onto Luo Yan's palm. Pain was felt on his palm and he slightly pulled back a bit. This time, Luo Yan was inwardly shocked as his eyes narrowed. Profound energy was once again condensed before he roared out, "Break!" At the same time, Luo Tian pulled back his right arm before thrusting out his left fist, Thunder Strike. The Thunder Tiger Fists was a combination skill, separated into Tiger Charge and Thunder Strike, an attack on both sides. Hiss, on the surface of the fist, a trace of lightning spark flashed and heavily landed on Luo Yan's abdomen. Bang! Puff! A mouthful of blood sprayed from his mouth as Luo Yan took several steps back before he could stabilize his body. His face paled as he stared at Luo Tian. One could see the muscle twitching on his face before saying, You, not letting him finish. Luo Tian's body started moving and charged with all his might. Within a blink of an eye, he was already in front of Luo Yan with a grin, Go to hell. When they're down, take their life. Seizing the moment that Luo Yan was injured, Luo Tian made a dash for it. There were still two others on the side, so if he allowed the three to combine forces, Luo Tian would be the one to die. His pair of fists was like hail as it smashed down. Luo Yan had no strength to respond after being seriously injured. In less than a minute, his internal organs were shattered by Luo Tian. His mouth continuously sprayed out blood before finally dying. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing Luo Yan. You have gained 150 experience points, 15 profound energy. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for obtaining 1 foundation building pill, and 25 pieces of silver. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for +1 to the undefeatable value. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. Your current level is a profound pupil 4th rank. Level up. This is 2F *ing quick. Luo Tian excitedly laughed out loud. He then raised his head to look at Luo Wan and Luo Ming. He curled his finger and coldly smiled, Are you coming one at a time or together? Being at the profound pupil 4th rank and having the Thunder Tiger Fists, dealing with 2 people was definitely not a problem. Plop! Luo Wan, who was at the profound pupil 3rd rank, kneeled on the ground as his body trembled. He then begged while crying, Big brother Luo Tian, spare my life, please spare this dog's life. The eyes of Luo Ming to the side shifted, and he kicked at Luo Wan's body and cursed, He's only one person, why do the 2 of us have to fear him? He hadn't even finished speaking. Luo Ming also kneeled on the ground, Spare my life hero, Grandpa Luo Tian, spare my life. Just consider us as fard and please let us go. Luo Ming, who was at the profound pupil 4th rank, was acting like this as well, made Luo Wan panic even more and started kowtowing. Grandpa Luo Tian, spare my life, please spare my life. Luo Tian carefully walked towards them and secretly circulated his energy. He then softly said, Spare you guys? Did you guys have fun insulting me? Didn't you want to play me to death? Why are you guys currently kneeling and begging me? I'm only a piece of trash. Won't begging a piece of trash make you guys lose all your face? The moment Luo Tian got closer, Luo Ming's eyes changed, his right hand grabbed the dirt on the ground and flung it at Luo Tian's eyes. With an evil smile on his face, Go and die for me. As swift as thunder, he exploded forth. Luo Ming released all his power and punched out just as Luo Tian raised his arm to block the dirt. I already knew you'd be like this. Luo Tian flicked his sleeves before fiercely retreating several meters back. Right after the sneak attack, Luo Tian's body shot forth like an arrow and utilized both fists by punching forth together, smashing against Luo Ming's chest. Bang! Luo Ming's chest split open and blood started gushing out before his body stiffened. The system once again sounded an alert. When pulling out weed, one must take care of the roots as well. After dealing with Luo Ming, Luo Tian didn't hesitate and threw out a punch to send Luo Wan to heaven. There was no need for mercy towards such people as them. Letting him live will definitely bring him endless problems in the future. Furthermore, killing him will net him experience, so why not kill? Luo Tian didn't like killing people. But he will never show mercy when it comes to people that deserve to be killed. This was his principle. Seeing the 4 corpses around him, Luo Tian faintly smiled. You guys enjoy your reunion in hell. Not to mention gaining 500 experience points from killing 4 people, Luo Tian also gained 4 foundation building pills. This was considered making a small fortune. These foundation building pills were a monthly stipend for the Luo family disciples. And for the martial cultivators in the profound pupil realm, it provided a lot of help to their cultivation. According to Luo Tian. Item, Foundation Building Pill Grade, First Grade Effect, 50 points of profound energy. After glancing at the foundation building pill's properties, Luo Tian said to himself, this medicinal pill is similar to mana potions. Presently, none of his abilities depleted his profound energy, which included the Thunder Tiger Fists. Instead, he thought of Feng Lei and helplessly said, I'll save this for Fatty Lei, his strength should be enhanced from now on. Ow! Ow! That Black Panther witnessed everything that had happened. Looking at Luo Tian made it cry out in fear, its body was shaking as it slowly crept backwards. Damn, I almost forgot about you. Luo Tian flew forth like an arrow and a single punch ended the Black Panther. He wasn't going to let any experience point escape. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing a Black Panther. You have gained 20 experience points, 1 profound energy. So little experience. Luo Tian couldn't help complain a bit after hearing the system message. He then opened the system status screen and excitedly said, just 1 more level and I will be rewarded with the martial skill reward. Berserk, Divine Skill Berserk, I'm coming. Muahaha, Chapter 9 Undefeatable Bloodline. Chapter 9 Undefeatable Bloodline. Profound Pupil 5th rank was considered a great divide. The difference in power between a Profound Pupil 4th rank and a 5th rank was huge. When Luo Tian opened the system to see how much experience he needed to level up, his facial expression changed and started cursing, damn your sister, system. From the Profound Pupil 3rd rank to the 4th rank only required a few hundred experience points. But from the 4th rank to the 5th rank required 10,000 experience points. All of a sudden, it was increased by a few hundred times. This anger burst out of Luo Tian as he cursed non-stop, cursing the system's full 108 generations of ancestors. He had originally thought he would level up again soon, and would quickly get the divine skill Berserk. But now, Luo Tian was now hard-pressed. He could curse all he wanted, but still had to face reality. The broken Luo Tian read it over a few seconds longer before checking his other stats. Martial Skill, Thunder Tiger Fists Grade, First Grade Proficiency, 10/100. The power behind this combination fist skill is not bad. It can attack and defend. If I had the Berserk skill to double its strength, I believe it would be even much more powerful. Luo Tian spoke to himself while suddenly feeling resentment again. Berserk, my Berserk ah! When Luo Tian was about to close the system's character profile, he noticed there was an extra row of information. Undefeated value, 4 points. What is undefeated value? It looks like everyone I kill would it increase it by 1 point. Could this be a player kill system? Luo Tian then started theorizing. In online video games, killing other players will cause one's name to turn red. Would the system's undefeated value and the red name be the same concept? Luo Tian was too lazy to think more about it and went straight to see the description of the undefeated value. Description 1, after killing a person, you will gain 1 point in the undefeated value. Once the undefeated value reaches a certain point, you may exchange it for a comparable undefeatable bloodline. Description 2, the undefeated value may not decrease and cannot be reset, or else the undefeatable system will activate the host's pain receptors to double. Undefeatable bloodline. Are you trying to bluff me? Let's see what bloodlines you have. Luo Tian opened the undefeated values exchange system. It was fine if he didn't know, but with one glance, he became completely dumbfounded. Undefeatable Azure Dragon bloodline. Undefeatable Black Tortoise bloodline. Undefeatable Vermilion Bird bloodline. Undefeatable White Tiger bloodline. The bloodline of the 4 divine beasts? These were super powerful peerless existences. If you thought that was all to it, then you are completely wrong. The bloodline of the 4 divine beasts was just scratching the surface. The next part that Luo Tianred nearly scared the shit and piss out of him. The next part was even more terrifying, something that people wouldn't even dare to imagine. Unbeatable Tathagata, Buddha, bloodline, undefeatable Pangu bloodline, undefeatable martial god bloodline, undefeatable Lord Hungmen's bloodline superscript 1, undefeatable. The craziest thing was the bloodline of undefeatable Lord God himself. My at number % Lady Gaga, this is scaring the crap out of me. Luo Tian had become so excited he went into a daze. Never, ever, had he ever expected there would be this many awesome to infinity bloodlines. If he obtained any of the bloodlines, he could probably walk sideways in the Tianxian continent. He would become a super awesome existence that whenever he saw someone he didn't like, he would play them to death. Luo Tian started drooling. This is too crazy. A bloodline was Tianxian continent's most mysterious force, and it was also the most powerful force. There were 2 ways of transferring a bloodline. The first was naturally through one heritage. This happened when someone extremely powerful appeared in your ancestry. His or her powers will be passed down through the generations and some will get a portion of their powers. Whether it is their cultivation or their physical body, everything will become much more powerful. The second was fusing with a demonic beast's bloodline. A successful fusion would mean one acquires the power of the demonic beast. The stronger the demonic beast, the higher chances of a successful fusion and the more powerful you would become. But who would dare to provoke those powerful demonic beasts? No matter if it's a bloodline from one's heritage or fusing with a demonic beasts, these bloodlines couldn't compare to the undefeatable bloodlines of his system at all. Any of those undefeatable bloodlines in the Tianxian continent would be a peerless existence. If I were to exchange for one of the bloodlines, Luo Tian's heart trembled at the thought, but upon seeing the exchange ratio, his eyes changed and he started cursing out loud, "Your sister, you damn system, are you playing with me? You just threw these things out just for the hell of enticing this daddy." Undefeated value of 2,000 points can be exchanged for the Azure Dragon bloodline. 20,000 point exchange ratio. 200 million point exchange ratio. Luo Tian was cursing, but he was still a bit happy in secret since the undefeated value brought him more happiness than worry. But looking at the points needed for the Azure Dragon's bloodline, he couldn't help grumbling to himself again. One person's head equals to 1 point, which meant he had to kill 2,000 people in order to get the Azure Dragon's bloodline. Wouldn't that turn him into a crazed serial killer? Looking at his pitiful and lonely 4 points of undefeated value, it was way too far from the required 2,000 points. Luo Tian was too lazy to keep caring since the undefeated value wasn't going to disappear or something. In this man-eat-man world, the value would eventually increase by itself. Immediately after, Luo Tian picked up the corpse of that black panther and went back down to the foot of the mountain. Meat, meat, I can finally eat meat. A golden light flashed in Feng Lei's eyes and drool started dripping down his chin as he saw Luo Tian carrying a black panther with him. Luo Tian lightly smiled and said, "Fatty Lei, from today onwards, I will let you eat meat every day." He didn't even get to finish the rest of his sentence. Feng Lei rushed to Luo Tian's side and threw the black panther over his own shoulder. With a silly smile, he affectionately said, "Young master, you treat this one so nice." Those eyes and that gaze made Luo Tian shudder before he quickly said, "Damn fatty, if you ever look at me with that expression again, don't even think of eating this slab of meat." No meat for him? Feng Lei panicked and his expression looked like he felt wronged. He then pitifully said, "Young master, this one was wrong, okay?" Luo Tian couldn't stand him anymore and quickly said, "Go clean up the panther meat and roast it, I'm freaking starving." "I obey your command." Feng Lei picked up the black panther and rushed over to a small stream in an eager manner. Half an hour later, a fire was lit and the pieces of meat were roasting. It wasn't long before oil started dripping down onto the flames. Luo Tian took a piece of well-roasted meat and gave it to Feng Lei with a smile, "You eat first." Feng Lei shook his head and grabbed a piece of meat that was still uncooked and bloody. He bit down and started chewing, revealing a mixture of satisfaction and happiness. "Young master, this one likes to eat raw meat." Luo Tian was stunned as he watched Feng Lei enjoying it greatly and couldn't praise, "What a talent." In Luo Tian's memories, Feng Lei had always enjoyed eating raw meat since he was little, the kind that was still dripping with blood. He was just like a wild beast. Luo Tian was too lazy to bother with him and grabbed some roasted meat and started eating himself. While eating the raw meat, Feng Lei was glancing at Luo Tian with a look of hesitation. Luo Tian gave him a blank stare and said, "If you have something to say, just say it." Feng Lei scratched the back of his head and asked with a goofy look, "Young master, your strength?" Luo Tian knew Feng Lei would eventually ask, but regarding the level up system, he didn't want anyone to know about it. Even if he explained it, Feng Lei probably wouldn't even understand, so he just said, "That day when I was beaten unconscious by Luo Yu, I dreamt of an old grandpa. He healed all my injuries, and then gave me a mysterious power where I could still cultivate with a crippled Danshan. These past few days, you can also see that my strength has been gradually recovering." Feng Lei's mouth was in an O shape but was listening seriously. He didn't doubt a single word of Luo Tian and excitedly said, "Young master, does that mean we can get our revenge in the future? Back then when you were injured by a mysterious person and then mistakenly ingested the dispersing spirit pill, this was all planned by Luo Jianshan. I believe the old master's death could be related to him as well. He coveted the position of being the family's patriarch, so with the joint effort by several elders, they forced him to accept the duel which resulted in his tragic death. There's also that Luo Lin, he took over everything that was supposed to be yours. And there's that Luo Yu, he even took your fiancé." After saying these things, a hint of tears reflected in the eyes of Feng Lei before he lowered his head and blamed himself. "It's all my fault for having crappy talent, it's all my fault for being useless. I've been cultivating all this time yet I'm still a trash at the profound pupil first rank. Before your mother died, she told me to take care of you yet Feng Lei was filled with self-blame. Every time Luo Tian was ridiculed, insulted, or beaten, he would blame himself for it. When Luo Tian's Danshan was crippled and couldn't cultivate anymore, Feng Lei wanted to increase his own cultivation in order to protect Luo Tian. But after spending several years of hard work, his cultivation was still at the profound pupil first rank and hadn't improved a single bit. Luo Tian's heart couldn't help feeling depressed. He placed his hand on Feng Lei's shoulder and said very seriously, "Don't worry, what the Luo family did to me, I will pay them back 100 or even 1,000 times. I will not let a single one of them go. I will make each and every single one regret being born in this world. I, Luo Tian, swear to the heavens." Superscript 1, known as the Creator, also mentioned in the last chapter of Coiling Dragon. Chapter 10 Divine Skill Berserk. Chapter 10 Divine Skill Berserk. Out of the whole Black Panther, Luo Tian only ate half the hind leg while the rest was completely eaten by Feng Lei while raw. Feng Lei was eating the raw panther meat like a savage. The more blood that dripped, the more he would savor the taste. Goosebumps involuntarily rose up on Luo Tian as he watched him eat. After a full meal, they rested for a bit and Luo Tian took out 3 foundation building pills for Feng Lei and said, "Hold on to these 3 foundation building pills for now." Feng Lei's eyes were filled with shock and rejected it without hesitation. "Young master, you should use it yourself. I can't make any breakthroughs anyway, so it's a waste for me to use it." Over 10 years' time and he was still at the profound pupil first rank. No matter how hard he worked, he still couldn't improve a single bit, so that's why Feng Lei had completely given up on cultivation. Luo Tian widened his eyes and stared. "I told you to hold on to it, so just hold on to it, why are you spouting so much bullshit?" Luo Tian also couldn't figure out why Feng Lei couldn't make any breakthroughs. But some things required a lucky break, and cultivation was the same. Feng Lei was grateful and carefully put it away. He then thought to himself, "These pills are useless for me, so I'll just save them for young master." Whenever he gained anything good, the first person he would think of was Luo Tian. Feng Lei had always been like this since he was young. Luo Tian naturally knew what Feng Lei was thinking and then said, "Now eat one of the pills for me." Feng Lei weakly looked at Luo Tian. He brought out a foundation building pill and said, "Young master, you should save it for yourself since there's no use in me eating them." Not letting Feng Lei finish, Luo Tian widened his eyes and pretended to be angry. "Am I still the young master or not?" "Of course you are. Then are you going to listen to the words I say?" "I will listen. Eat one of the pills for me or else I'm no longer your young master," Luo Tian said in a commanding tone. Feng Lei was his brother. A brother that had never abandoned him during life or death. Luo Tian will never be stingy to his own brother. Foundation building pills can relax the muscles and help blood circulation. It can also strengthen one's body. It is useful to any martial cultivators and Feng Lei was no exception. Having no other choices, Feng Lei swallowed a foundation building pill. Luo Tian showed a satisfied smile and said, "That's good. In a bit, follow me up the mountain to kill some wild beasts." And Feng Lei nodded. Although he didn't know why they were killing wild beasts, he would still unconditionally listen to Luo Tian's words. Half an hour later. Oh, aru, gur. 4 to 5 beasts that towered over humans. A nearly 2-meter-long striped cheetah along with several wild beasts were all trying to claim the corpses of Luo Yan and company. I knew this would happen. There were wild beasts everywhere in the Dark Spirit Mountain. Add the scent of fresh blood as stimulation and this will guarantee to attract many beasts from all over the place. Luo Tian didn't bury the corpses of Luo Yan and company was solely because of this point. The more these wild beasts chew up their corpses, the better it was for him. Even if the Luo family investigates this matter, the cause would not fall on his head. Seeing this many wild beasts, Luo Tian laughed excitedly and said, "Fatty Lei, block their path of retreat and don't let a single one of them get away." Feng Lei grinned and flexed his arms. He then stood to the side like a giant. Luo Tian stomped down with his right foot and leapt into the air before landing in the midst of the wild beasts. With a hideous smile, "Come, and become my experience points." A human being? It was a living human being, its flesh must taste sweeter than a dead corpse. Suddenly, 5 wolves were the first to attack. One at a time, they pounced at Luo Tian filled with menace. A green light flashed in their eyes and a chilling gleam reflected in their fangs as they intended on biting Luo Tian to death. Humph! Luo Tian calmly humphed and flipped his sleeves, pretending to be those old sect masters he had watched in the movies from his previous life. He continued imitating by gesturing his right hand and faintly said, "Go to hell." His pair of fists was like the wind as he punched out 5 times continuously. Bang, bang! The heads of the 5 wolves shattered and fresh blood sprayed out. Their bodies fell to the ground and twitched a bit before not a sound came from them anymore. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing a wolf. You have gained 20 experience points, 1 profound energy. Congratulations! 5 continuous alerts sounded off, making Luo Tian silently overjoyed. I got 100 experience points in a brief moment, so it makes getting to 10,000 experience points to level up not seem that much now. I should make a breakthrough after killing for a few days. Breaking through to the profound pupil 5th rank in a few days? If anyone were to hear Luo Tian's words, they would definitely think he was crazy. It would take at least a year or 2 for someone to break through the profound pupil 4th rank to the profound pupil 5th rank. Even when it came to the Luo family's super genius Luo Lin, he took a full 10 months to break through, and that was with the support of countless medicinal pills. The meaning of cultivation for everyone was to sense the profound energy of the heaven and earth, temper one's body, and to continuously break through one's shackles. But when it came to Luo Tian, it was the simple act of killing beasts and gaining experience points. After taking care of the 5 wolves, Luo Tian's body became illusory as he rushed towards the cheetah that had been eyeing him all along. Thunder Tiger Fists. Thunder Strike, Tiger Charge, 2 beautiful punches struck out. The first punch knocked the leopard into the air, and the second punch heavily smashed down. Bang! The leopard didn't even have time to react when two large holes appeared on its body. Its eyes popped out and it was already dead. The system made an alert sound. Seeing that the situation didn't look good, those other wild beasts made a run for it. It was at this time that Feng Lei roared into the air. An aura of a fierce beast burst out from him, directly forcing those fleeing wild beasts to backtrack. Our coordination isn't too bad, praised Luo Tian. His speed didn't decrease as his body fell on those wild beasts. He struck out with his thunder tiger fists again, and within a few moves, those wild beasts were all taken care of. Let's go. We continue moving forward. Luo Tian patted his hands. Feng Lei looked at all the wild beast corpses and smacked his lips, revealing a starving look. Luo Tian waved his hand and said, "You damn fatty, look how much fat is on your body, will you die if you eat a little bit less?" Feng Lei scratched his head and said with a silly look, "We've already killed them, so it'll be such a waste if we don't eat them. I give up. I'll wait for you up ahead, so take care of them quickly." Luo Tian wondered why when Feng Lei sees bloody raw meat, it's like he becomes a beast and cannot control himself. Soon afterwards, biting and chewing, Feng Lei devoured the still warm wild beast corpses. He was ripping the meat off their bodies with his teeth, just like how a wild beast would eat. He didn't understand himself. When he saw things like this, he just couldn't control his mouth. The first day, Luo Tian killed about 100 wild beasts and experience rose by 20%. He had almost cleared out all the beasts in the outer region of the Dark Spirit Mountain. Feng Lei devoured all the blood essence of those beasts and his stomach now looked like a round watermelon. The third day, the two of them were killing in the depths of the Dark Spirit Mountain, and Luo Tian's experience was skyrocketing. The Thunder Tiger fists also leveled up while Feng Lei continued devouring the blood essence of those beasts. The fifth day, it was difficult to find a wild beast strolling around the Dark Spirit Mountain. As long as it gave experience, Luo Tian didn't even spare an ant. The entire Dark Spirit Mountain was filled with the thick smell of blood. Bang! The fist was like a hammer as it smashed down. A fiery ant that had lost its way was smashed into paste. The system in his mind made an alert sound. Ding! Congratulations to player Luo Tian for killing the fiery ant. You've gained 1 experience point, 0 profound points, ding. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up. You are currently at the profound pupil 5th rank, ding. Congratulations to player Luo Tian for leveling up and gaining the second martial skill from novels as a reward. The reward will be the... It's here, Berserk is here, ha ha ha. Luo Tian laughed into the air like mad. He finally broke through after 5 days of bloody battles. The instant he gained the divine skill Berserk, the expression of his eyes immediately changed to a cold look as he said to himself in a low tone, "Luo family, I'm coming for you."